Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Woo! Lot to talk about today. But before we do that, let me just say, you listen and say something real. Debo, why you just make that face? Why you sit back? You okay? Did you? They were gone yesterday. Yes, I took them. Oh well, you need to get on your job. But yeah,
48 hours, no, 24 at least. 24 hours behind.
Yeah, I took them down when I got back from DC so I could wash my hair. I don't know how people don't wash their. I wash my hair every day, and so not washing my hair.
It's difficult to do with the braids, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because you loosen them up and they could slide. And my hair was short anyway, so they could slide.
We knew it was short. We knew your hair was short. Part you didn't have to tell us. So when you wash your hair, do you let it marinate?
This is why you
let
get
the lather marinate.
I see.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm moving.
Just so we know, y'all, marinate is meant to mess with Carvey. But see, this is why you get beat up. This is why your wife have to make sure she pick you up
on time,
so that nobody jump on you when you get off work. That's exactly why. Because we be waiting outside for you, but Jackie zoom in
said and done
and pick you up
that I just can't believe,
to make sure can't nobody beat you up after work. So,
my suit was singing loud. That one right. That one still hurts.
Oh my God, bro.
That one still hurts. Lord, I don't know what I did.
Why are you reliving this?
I mean, I can't figure out why Carvey, or how he came up with that one. First of all, how did you come up with that? What'd you say?
Carvey said it's a new one. Did something happen while I was away?
What's the new one, Carvey?
Carvey said it's a new one. Oh, when I said where all the flies was coming from, and Carvey said what his suit.
See, this is the kind of stuff. And then the lady gonna call yesterday to defend. If you don't know what goes on behind the scenes,
you don't know.
And I know what you were saying. That did happen on air, but that was pretty much on air too, with the flies and.
Dude, why is you in here crying this morning?
I'm sensitive.
I mean, I just have never had so many bros sitting in that chair that just be crybabies.
And I was hurt before I started sitting there. You done broke a brother down. Now I'm sensitive. It used to be hard.
All y'all is crybabies, man. You still
eat the Boston baked beans?
Say what?
You still eat the Boston baked beans? Did that stumble?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was just wondering
and let me just say, because I ain't had none since Keon died.
Right. Do something about that.
And I think the last box I had in my purse, Keon had given it to me. Because he would give them to me and I wouldn't always eat them right away, and I would just keep them in my purse. But it was funny. I thought about him when I flew back in because I parked my car while I'm gone.
Whereas he used to pick you up, didn't he?
Pick me up and take me.
Right.
And so when I picked my car up, I had to pay $57.
That made me think about the brother.
And literally, as opposed to saying, man, I miss Key. He used to pick me up and take me to the airport. I said, this Negro is costing me money. I know. Black people are so selfish and so messed up. But I was like, $57. I was like, see, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Right. And now I'm up here. Oh my God, I was fussing in the car and I bust out laughing.
And that sounds
I'm sure,
like you,
and he know. I'm sure he started laughing too.
Right.
Because it was so funny. I didn't even know what it meant to pay for parking. Because he always picked me up and dropped me off. And so it was funny. It was funny because even me and Tamika were on the plane together coming back. And she said, you got a ride? And for a second, I had to think. We ended up talking about it. I said, Keon always picked me up. And so she started laughing. She said, I know. Said, I know. I said, these weren't my conversations. Right. So Mitchell Airport getting $57 from me.
Can I be personable with you for a moment?
Personable or personal?
I want to get on the couch.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you had that moment?
No.
You haven't?
No, I haven't had it.
Yeah.
Haven't broke down, haven't cried hard, haven't done any of
Because
that.
I told my wife, I said, that
No,
has got to
haven't
be
had
the
it.
strongest woman, one of the strongest women I know. I mean, I watch you, how you move and groove, and it's like, she ain't had the moment.
No, I ain't had
She
it.
ain't had
It hasn't. It hasn't set in yet. It hasn't set in. But I'm gonna tell you
that $57.
that $57. That $57.
It almost happened right there, didn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't gonna be pretty. I wasn't gonna be able to tell nobody about it.
Right.
Because I was looking real bad at that moment, like this Negro costing me money. So y'all take care of yourself.
Right.
So folks ain't got to pay. At least me. Everybody that's close to me, I need y'all to take care of yourself. Somebody said you talk about fighting a lot. No, I don't. Do I?
I wish the camera could catch this straight.
Well, everybody know I don't mean it. I'm just joking. These are just jokes.
You know, Michelle, there are people that could talk about fighting a lot, and they can't fight. They don't do nothing. They just talking because they know ain't nobody gonna buy the ticket. But there's some people that change their mind because you look like you just do something.
It's just that dark skin. That's all it is.
Mm-mm.
It's that dark skin.
And you taller than Meech too. I mean, I didn't mean to call his name. I did not mean to call his name.
You did not bring up short stuff. You didn't bring him up.
Sorry about that, Meech. I know you're listening.
Listen, MIA. You did not bring him up.
Yeah,
at least over here, he MIA.
He's been real scarce.
Yeah,
No. He didn't call yesterday at all.
Yes, I mean, he gonna show up. We gonna sing "Welcome Back" when he come back.
Welcome back. That one.
Well, I prefer the R&B one, but the old "Welcome Back" Carter is good too.
Yeah.
Good morning, Carvey. How are you this morning? You're a little sniffly. You got germs. What's going on?
Same thing I told him.
Oh, you know
when you travel and you go around them kinfolk and everything like that there. All them, and he said it was all old.
Yeah, he sounded like somebody's granddaddy. Great granddaddy. I know you somebody's granddaddy.
That's where it come from. You've been over there with them peoples and
with an S.
Yeah, with them peoples with an S. That's right. You've been over there with them peoples. You ain't never ate their food before. The food might not have been rich or too rich for your blood, and everything like that. And now you got the sniffles too, because you don't know them peoples.
And it was Chicago.
Yeah, and there you go. Which is rare because I don't know about nobody else, but Michelle, I don't know. Maybe you don't travel in the same circles I do. them same cousins I was telling you about yesterday. They will give you all the drinks in the world, but they will not feed you. They will eat in shifts.
What?
Yeah, want to go in the house and eat, and when he come out,
because the liquor is expensive.
Yeah,
unless they give you some Milwaukee's Best or some nonsense.
They would rather buy you drinks than feed you.
No offense to the people who drink Milwaukee's Best. Do they still make that?
Your turn. Go on in. You know what to do.
But so they don't want you to know about the food.
They don't. Nah, that's just my experience.
And who is your people?
No, man? I've heard that from a lot of people. They'll be like, man, you go to Chicago, man, and they don't tell you about the food.
What?
They'll drink with you all day, but they're not going to invite you in to eat.
Are you serious?
This is true.
Like down south, they'll feed you all day. But that's why BYOB got invented. You got to bring your own liquor. Because liquor costs too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Bring your own beverage. That's what it stood for. Yeah, you got BYOB.
You didn't know what that was?
He knew. Bring your own booze. BYOW. Bring your own
weed.
You know what? I'm not going to talk to you.
Figure that out.
Yeah, Carvey after 10 has shown up. We're going to have to move on.
I'm surprised. Well, you've never experienced that.
No, I mean,
you're usually
that's not my circle of people.
No, it's just
we eat.
It's kind of a characterization.
We eat
that I've
and we kick it and we parlay.
In Chicago, they don't do no whole lot with the food.
People like, tell Debo we'll take them back to Chicago.
Oh, they're gonna introduce me to some real
take
people.
You to the liquor store.
I don't want to go to the liquor
store.
They'll
take you to the liquor store.
No.
Y'all gonna be talking about liquor at 7:13 in the
Yeah,
morning.
well, I'm just saying, my
Devo,
cousin,
you are such a
his own
bad
gang killed him.
influence.
I don't need to go to the liquor store.
You back on it. I want you to know, two people called me when I got off the air yesterday. Said they was laughing at work. So about their own gang killed
Yeah.
the family member.
Yeah.
And then they said, I had to think about it. Them Negroes like they in my family. They'll kill you though. Like I was like, y'all, please
He
stop.
tried to set
Please
me
stop.
up. I wasn't
For
going.
your money.
Yeah, I had a little jewelry too. You know what
Look
I'm
like
saying?
what you say? You had some jewelry on.
Yeah,
Looking luxurious.
It's like,
Um,
well, listen, this cousin had 21
somebody
children.
said Milwaukee's Best is a good beer.
Oh boy, I don't know who that was.
That was like get off Milwaukee's Best. So yeah, Debo, I'm gonna stop saying good morning to you because it just rabbit holes.
That ain't even how that happened.
Constant rabbit holes.
I made a facial expression. He was like, "What's wrong with your face?" I was like, "You changed your hair."
But how we go from change your hair to everything else that
Michelle, you do that. I didn't do it.
Okay, blame me.
No,
I'm okay. Well, to the rest of the world who knows how to act. Let me say good morning again. We get sidetracked over here in the foolishness. So, as I said, so much to talk about this morning. But let me start with a public service announcement, if I could. I have talked ad nauseum for some folks about how we allow people to treat us and then utilize their goods, services, brands, whatever. So I had a recent conversation when I got back to Milwaukee on Sunday regarding the skating rink out in Butler. For people that still skate, from what I understand, Incrediroad closed, and you have to travel quite a distance now to be able to find somewhere to go skating unless you go to Butler. Butler has been around forever. It was hot for a minute. Then Incrediroad came and other places, and people started going there. And Butler, kind of fell off. But then this other rink closes, and people got to go back to Incrediroad. Back to Butler. And so I talked to a young sister who had taken her children and some other family members, and we're meeting, a group of kids there to go skating for one of the children's birthday. Okay. And so evidently there is this older white security guard at Butler skating rink who was very disrespectful, who is racist in his engagement with some of these customers. So this particular set of children, their parent hadn't gotten to the door yet. The parent was in the car, and they have a rule that your parent has to be with you if you are under a certain age to get into the arena, the skating center. Okay, that works, no problem. But the way this thing unravels, the security guard, ends up telling the kids they can't come in, pointing kids out, with you don't have a parent, and they're like, our mom is over there. We can get her. Here she comes, whatever. And the children are of different skin complexions. Okay. One of the children involved, if not two, I got to remember the story, are actually in the legal guardianship of the mom. She has custody of some family members. So the white security guard over at Butler skating rink, when the mother walks up, she's a dark-skinned sister. When she walks up, or brown skin, dark, not quite as dark as me, but brown skin sister. When she walks up, and I'm fast forwarding, I'm moving past some points to get to this. He basically challenges that, first of all, she can be their parent because she looks too young. She's just a young looking sister, but she's nearly 30 years old. But he challenges that she can be their parent. That's number one. Then he challenges that those are her children because their skin complexions don't match. Okay. So, what the range looks like in our family. We can go from this to that and everything in between. So then he proceeds to ask the children about how many baby daddies does this young woman have. And then at some point says, "Oh, so, are you telling me your mom got three baby daddies?" Like, and talking to the children, to the minors in this way. So the whole thing escalates. Then he wants the mom to be able to tell him the name of each individual child. Now, while she is furious, she is still trying to salvage the birthday of this baby for them to still be able to have some fun or have an activity. And so she names these children. Humiliating, but she got to name all these kids. He still decides, after all this has been done, yeah, we don't want your business, and turns them away. She and another parent, because there were 8 kids in total, they stay on the parking lot. They talk to other parents, figure out if this has been other people's experiences. And folks have said, yeah, this guy, he's known for being really nasty, really racist in his interaction with young people. Yeah, we've had these experiences before. Some people said, nope, I've been able to get in with no problem. Things have been just fine. Um, so, you know, the mom, she asked to speak to the manager. The manager supported this security guard in denying them admission to the venue because, your kids are a different color than you are. And, y'all can't be related. And the first thing when she was talking to me and telling me about this, I thought about that's that whole diversity, equity, and inclusion conversation. Why DEI and training and cultural competency training becomes so relevant and so important. Because and somebody said, yeah, they must have been texting me when I was making a statement. Yes, she did ask for management, and management supported the security guards' decision not to allow them entry. So the whole piece about diversity, equity, inclusion and training and cultural competency, it speaks to the fact that, when people go through some of these classes, they learn how not to do stupid stuff like this. They learn how not to say ignorant things like this. They learn that, and not in all of these classes, but in some, it can come up. You can get an array of colors within one family of Black people because of all the historical things that have gone on. And y'all already know, so I don't need to say it. Oh, wait, I'm going to say it anyway. Slavery, because Keith always loves to say it, always goes back to slavery for you. Slavery, rape, breeding, the whole 9 yards. So you got the array, the rainbow, if you will, of complexions because of historical factors that have gone on with Black folks in this country. But my other point, or my other reason for bringing this up, is there were multiple parents who have said that. And because you still are trying to give your children experiences, you go back and you try to figure out, how to make it better, how to engage. Y'all, we have to figure out where we spend our dollars. And if we are trying to force change, is it a boycott outside your skating rink? Is it a meeting with the management of that particular company? Because, see, they understand that they the only game in town and that they have the ability to treat people any way they want to. And that some of us will take our money and go elsewhere, but many of us won't, even though the stories are out there. Just like I used to say about Elsa's, the stories was out there. And many of us still went. But we heard what was happening to people. Because Carvey was just at Elsa's, or Carvey was just saying he experienced bad treatment at Elsa's. He was just saying they took his wallet. You lost your wallet there and they took it, kept it. Okay. So, I don't know how many ways I can keep saying this, But we are going to have to use our economic power, because that is the one thing that we do have and we do control when we do business with people. Because we will easily and quickly no longer patronize a Black business because of bad treatment, because of poor service, because of an unpleasant experience. But because some of these other businesses, they're the only game in town, we don't have anywhere else to go, we will complain, but still put up with this kind of nonsense. There are things that we can do. There are things that we can do as a community. There are things that we can do as consumers. There are things that we can do. And for the white security guard who thought that that was okay, eventually y'all gonna run into the wrong person. Eventually you gonna run into it's a matter of time, because not everybody is going to try to reason, rationale, talk their way out of, de-escalate the situation. It's a matter of time before somebody responds in a way that's going to make the 10 o'clock news. When you feel emboldened to ask my children if I have 3 baby daddies, and like this is some slave auction that we got to line up these kids and name them for you to decide whether or not you believe I'm their parent. It's a matter of time. So if you are someone that still skates, you got grandchildren, children that you are taking to the skating rink, please understand where you're taking your children. Please understand whose care you are entrusting them to. Please understand who you are spending. Somebody just said to me, there's a skating rink down in Racine. Let me see. Somebody said, oh no, he was inviting Brenda to come out and play. I'm just saying, it's not going to go that way with everybody. But y'all, we have got to think about, and the skating rink down in Racine, they said it's owned by Black people. Thank you so much. 1825 Sycamore Avenue, owned by Black folks down in Racine. It's a long way to go skating, but I'd rather travel a long distance than to go a short way and have somebody, be discriminating and treating me crazy. So I need to take a quick commercial break. I can go to the phone. Let me get this caller in then. Hey caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle.
Good morning. How you doing this morning, George?
I'm good. But that still's not going to work out if you catch the wrong person on the 10 o'clock news. That's just going to put them in there. What I can't believe is that manager was just okay with that he talked to their children like that, and she told him that he asked my children how many babies that he should have been sent home right then and there.
Right.
No discussion. He should have been sent. Now, the other thing I don't understand, when we were going out there years ago, me and Brenda, we used to take like 8 to 10 kids with us. I had 5 in my car. She had 5 in our car with our grandchildren because they all wanted to go skating. So I don't understand. As long as you have an adult or supervising adult,
right,
that's at what legal age, there shouldn't be even no questions asked if they're your kids or their grandkids or kids from the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, he was trying to tell them that they had to be the biological parent of the children. And, this woman, she was like, what are you talking about? Like,
right, exactly.
So what are you talking about?
What if your school decides to have a field trip?
Exactly.
To take them out there. So that's really weird that management would stick up for there. And I know some brothers, I don't know if they work out there anymore, but I know some cool brothers that I grew up with that worked out there. And I don't see how they would even be down with something like that. Now, so we have to learn how to, because we can boycott a place individually, but when do we do it as a group of people?
Yep.
where it really makes a difference? Because I don't patronize that McDonald's on 27th Street. I don't patronize that Wendy's on 27th Street. I'll drive all the way to East Capitol before I do that. Because if you treat me bad 1 or 2 times, I'm done. But we did have a skating ring here, Michelle.
Yes,
You probably weren't here then.
I
But
definitely have
but
heard. I definitely have heard.
but like a lot of places, we get knuckleheads in there and they mess it up for everybody. So it's almost like a catch-22. What do we do?
And that was
If we try
literally
and
the
have.
conversation I was having yesterday because I said, on one hand, you got people that go out and they don't know how to act and, make it bad for everybody else. And then places end up closing down. Um, and then, you got people that's treating you this way when you show up. So it is one of those things because, again, if you keep thinking about it, we are the largest city in this state. But the number of amenities that we do not have in the city of Milwaukee proper is crazy to me. How is there no skating rink in Milwaukee anymore proper? How movie theaters actually in the city of Milwaukee, not a suburb or neighboring, community, but actually in the city of Milwaukee. The ones
We
that
had
we
two on
have
76. We
are
had two on
older ones.
76th Street at one time. But again,
We had one in
we coming
Midtown.
up in there
Yeah.
acting stupid, acting crazy. Where I didn't even want to come up in there no more because I'm kind of like I used to be kind of like you. I speak up, and I can't fight. I learned my lesson trying to fight six dudes at one time. I wasn't trying that no
But this
more.
the thing. Those people didn't stop going to the movies. They now go to the movies in Brookfield and Mayfair and Wauwatosa and wherever else. They didn't
I
stop
don't go
going
to
to the
Mayfair.
movies. They stopped acting a fool when they got in them suburban communities. That's what happened. They didn't stop acting a fool at the movies. It didn't go away.
So why do we? So what's the thinking behind that? What's the mentality behind that? That we'll go someplace else and act like we got some sense, but then in our own community we don't do that.
And
I
not
don't understand the
appreciating that
rationale behind that.
we destroying the community every time we do it. But it makes no sense to me that there's not a black owned skating rink. Because there's brothers that got money in this city. There's brothers that got money in this state that could open a skating rink if they want to. But I know the risk factor, what comes with that, the drama. But when I go to Atlanta, I go to the skating rink in Atlanta.
I wonder what kind of insurance you got to have.
Yeah, Debo, because we had talked
The
about that.
liabilities and the probability, not just somebody getting injured, but then we talk about the probability of violence or now you got to carry up. You probably got to carry a lot.
I mean, well, I know that there was talk. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the call. There was talk about some brothers opening a skating rink here out in Granville. In I think that old Stein's building or somewhere over there. There was like recently there was talk that there was going to be some brothers opening a skating rink in that area, and I heard that within the last 2 to 3 months.
I just wonder about that area.
Well, I mean, the
wild 100s and all that stuff back over in there. And stuff.
I mean, but it ain't been wild for a minute.
Okay.
It was back in the day for sure. But that level of drama, you don't even hear. And that, like, think about that too, because people talk about the wild 100s. But when you hear about a ton of shootings and stuff, it's not really in that area. Now they may leave the area and go shoot up somewhere else, come back home and get some rest. But I'm just saying. But that whole area, and for people like, where's the wild 100s? That's Brown Deer Road off of, let's just say 95th. And then you go back up in the cut, you take that right on Brown Deer in the 90 something and go back and 100 up in that way. But you'll never hear nothing happening over there. Think about it. When you hear shootings, them shootings ain't over in that area. I'm just saying. They leave the neighborhood and come tear up y'all stuff and then go back to the house. I got to take a break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM, collective spending power. How do we use it? Be right back. national level that we got to talk about. Eric Adams is watching everything. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, watching everything just implode beneath his feet in terms of his administration, high profile resignations, waiting to see, because if everybody around you is falling, it's just a matter of time before you fall. So got to pay attention to that. A number of people have hit me up this morning, just flagging for me. I had saw it before I left the house that Sean Combs, Diddy, is in federal custody right now. There are a number of charges that, it could be related to. They've accused him of sexual assault, of human trafficking. The case is going to reveal the charges against him sometime this morning. So I am keeping an eye on that. It'll help to know what he's been arrested for before trying to talk about the story, but there have been a ton of allegations. So that's going to drop this morning. Also, information on what's going on over in Springfield. 17 schools have had, every school in the city of Springfield, Ohio, has now had to be swept by police. They are doing that, started yesterday, doing it today, because of the crazies that are now converging on the area, calling in threats to the area in relationship to the comments being made by Donald Trump and JD Vance regarding Haitian immigrants. And so it has turned into just a nightmare in Springfield. But while appreciating, and of course, obviously the need to talk about presidential election, but there's also something that I think requires our attention here locally. That, and I just want to thank somebody because they flagged it for me. And I didn't have this part of it on my radar, but I had this conversation earlier in the year as we were talking about referendums for Milwaukee Public Schools. And they were talking about eliminating at that time roughly 300 jobs. But we're getting money, but we're going to eliminate 300 jobs. But then we had known that there was a decision made to give an 8%, I think it was salary increase to folks in the district. They said it would amount to about $50 million. So we've had like a ton of numbers flying around as we're telling people we're cash strapped, we're broke, the district is in trouble. We need $252 million of taxpayer money on top of the $84 million in referendum dollars that we had already secured previously. And then to even be, leaked rumors that the likelihood was great that there was a plan to come back again to taxpayers and say we still need even more money. So with that being said, so we broke. Okay, we got all this financial foolishness going on. We on a financial cliff with the school district. We broke. So today there is a meeting, and it's getting a lot of attention online. Social media is a buzz. About the recommended salary adjustments for administrators with the district. So Paulette Chambers, Chief of Staff, Office of the Chief of Staff, $200,000. Michael Harris, Interim School Administration Officer, $200,000. Adria Maddalini, Chief Human Resources Officer, $200,000. And Jennifer Mims Howell, Chief Academic Officer, $200,000. There is more. There is more. But understand this. The school board is scheduled to approve these salary adjustments this evening. And a lot of folks are talking about it and trying to understand how we can be in this level of financial trouble. Reports not being filed in a timely manner. We got a district that is underperforming academically. We are changing, the criteria at DPI that doesn't accurately reflect what's going on with these students. Like, for so many reasons, we have a failing school district. We do. On so many levels. There are individual schools that are performing very, very well. But we got a failing school district. And y'all begging for money. And taxpayers and the very students that's in those schools, their parents, the rents are going up because landlords are passing those property tax increases on to the renters. People who can least afford some of these increases are going to cover these things. How does this work, y'all? And I'm not telling anybody that people shouldn't be fairly compensated. But then I remember when the Common Council, the first time under Shantia Lewis and her proposal, we're going to give themselves like a $10,000 raise. And you had city workers saying, but we haven't, as workers, gotten a raise in 10 years. So how y'all getting a $10,000 salary bump and y'all some of the highest paid elected officials already in the state of Wisconsin? How does that work? So I'm not sure if people paying attention. I'm not sure if you have questions, but understand that this meeting is happening tonight. I'm going to pull it up on the computer when I get a minute. Somebody saying, after seeing what happened at Bradley Tech, give the whole district raises. Parents are failing their children. Somebody else said, not only that, but who is going to pay for 25 police officer salaries, benefits, overtime, training, equipment of all types of overhead? I mean, these are realities. And this is not a community where you just keep to get coming back to the trough. You know, we had the Brewers wanted more money after we sunset on that deal with the county. You know, everybody got their hand in our pocket. And 2% here, 1.5% there, 0.5% there. All of it eventually adds up, y'all. It adds up. And a lot of the people that's being, most impacted are the people who are not getting what they deserve for their money. And a fight out of school, for me, does not rise to the level of I need to be doing this kind of financial volleyball with my paycheck. Let me see. Caller, I see you. Here I come. In fact, let me go to the caller and then I'll make my next point. Hey, caller, what's happening?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. I called a call in on a late show yesterday. I called it.
Turn your radio off, babe, so we can hear you. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
You still? Do you have your radio up? If you do, please turn it down.
Okay, hold on.
All right. No problem. I'll wait for you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we got you.
Okay. Oh, that's how you do that. Because I called in before and y'all was getting feedback.
No problem.
Yeah. I called in kind of on a late show yesterday. I called in about 9:30.
Okay.
And you were speaking on the subject of Trump assassination. And I was wondering, is that somebody tried to assassinate him again? Because I remember the first one when this guy was on the roof or something and he missed and he shot in his ear or something.
Right.
And you were speaking about him getting assassinated again on a golf course or something. I was just wondering, is that a second attempt? Yes,
that was a second attempt that happened on Sunday down at Mar-a-Lago at the golf course. He was not hurt. And they arrested the shooter, but yes, sir, that did happen on Sunday.
Man, okay. Yeah, I go like so sorry like that guy thing. Like the first one is like a warning, but
we would hope not, but as people, and thank you, bro, I appreciate the call. But we know that people are asking folks to tone down the rhetoric, tone down, the intensity by which they degrade or talk about another candidate. People are very, very concerned, and I think rightfully so. Make no mistake, Trump contributes to the toxicity that's going on. And I was listening to somebody on CNN this morning who was saying, look, I'll support Trump, but the Democrats said da 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 da. And the thing that was funny to me is what they're saying that the Democrats said, which is he is a threat to democracy. I believe that. What they said about him being someone that, is harmful to women's reproductive rights. That's true. That's not rhetoric in the sense of incendiary or, inciting violence. These are facts. But when you call Kamala Harris a communist, a Marxist, a fascist, and all this other crazy stuff, then on top of that, you lie talking about Haitian immigrants eating animals, people's pets, and, the border crossings, and this is it. I mean, like, you create a fertile environment for these crazies to go off. Then JD Vance comes out and says, yeah, but nobody's tried to kill Kamala or Biden. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? What responsible leader would say that? Because I don't want to plant a seed. I don't want to create a situation in which you have people that, would think about doing violence like that. But before I go down that rabbit hole, let me say where I was for a second in relationship to MPS. So another thing that I've been made aware of is that MPS has missed, as we talk about these salary adjustments and these raises for people, MPS misses first required filing under the DPI improvement plan. MPS is behind again on state financial reporting, this time on a new filing, the first required by a multi-year corrective action plan assigned by DPI earlier this summer. Specifically, the district failed to submit its fiscal year 24 district aid certification, which was due August 30th. That filing was a part of a corrective action plan section labeled as high priority and high urgency. And then folks are talking about, will there be consequences? DPI previously withheld state aid payments to MPS because of the district's delinquent state finance reports. DPI officials have said future aid payments to MPS will depend on whether the district continues to make progress on the corrective action plan. I mean, so there's all this stuff that's out there. So as we talk about salary adjustments, it just comes at a really awkward time when you consider everything else that's going on. It absolutely is frustrating. It absolutely is frustrating that you paying people this kind of money. They're already making good money. And I appreciate the size of the district. I do. But MPS is a top-heavy district in terms of salaries. And it looks like there was a lot of taking care of folks, and I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know what comparable size districts make in terms of their leadership, because they could make this amount or substantially more. I don't know. But what I do know is you can't keep begging taxpayers for money and then people not doing their job, and our children overall still not performing at levels that say, because so many people, your job is tied to performance. Now, given all the different factors that contribute to how a child performs academically in MPS, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be a supporter of that model. But what I also understand is that I'm scrutinizing what I'm doing when I realize that I have an underperforming district. That I am doing. And so, I want to see the common council members be up in arms about yet another misfiling at MPS, and who will show up at the meeting to talk about that. I want to see, what happens as we realize that we still haven't figured out this 25 police officer situation and where that money is coming from. Still don't have that. And that MPS seemingly lied about it by saying, we've met, we got a plan, we, blah, blah, blah. And then some other people came out and said, no, there is no plan.
Well, Michelle, let me ask this.
Yes.
In regards to that, when the referendum came out, wouldn't that then should have been a part of, because that requirement, that law was already in there, that should have been in that number, shouldn't it? Those 25 officers.
I mean, it was a part of the shared revenue deal. That's where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Was a shared revenue deal. They left it up to each. I mean, not to each, because Milwaukee was the only district impacted in this way. They left it up to the district to figure out how you were going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the district. But see, and number one, the district is going to be on pushback anyway because they have voted to remove police from the district. Then all of a sudden, you get the reporting about there's been 3,000 calls to MPS, by the Milwaukee Police Department. On one of the most recent calls, it seems like the police drug their feet getting there to show, like the blue flu. We're going to show you all a lesson about putting us out of the school district. So you got all this other political nonsense going on in the background in relationship to this conversation. This was an unfunded mandate. If the state got money, we got a rainy day fund. If it was so important to the state of Wisconsin, after you got to give us permission to raise our sales tax here to be able to come up with some more money and increase our shared revenue, not fairly, but you increased it. If this was important, see, that's why I say Republicans be talking on both sides of their neck. Because if this was important, you want to see 25 police officers back in the school, and we the only district in the state that was required to do this, pay for it. We got the money. We got the money. It's $1 million. Republicans didn't want to pay for it. This was all intended to smack Milwaukee in their face for how dare y'all think y'all grown and be independent and not gonna have the police, which are our supporters as a union. I'm not talking about individual police officers, but as a collective, the police ride with Republicans, they're union officials. So this was just payback for their constituency. That's all it was. But this is the other part. If it was that important for you, and you was looking out for your constituency, and you talking about threatening people with jail time because they have not instituted these 25 officers in these schools yet, pay for it. That's how you know it's BS. That's how you know it's not serious. That's how you know it's the Republicans playing games, because we had $1 million. We got the money to fund this at the state level if we chose to. We don't choose to. They don't choose to. And that's the thing that we got to keep, reminding people of and paying attention to is game. So it's some stuff that, we can get some statements on from the Common Council. I would just like to see a diversity of those statements as a collective. When all 14 of us can get on the same page, I want to see that on some other issues too. Let me take a break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Say something real. We'll be right back.
on 860 WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. I had a caller that held through the break, so let me get them in real quick. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Hey, and Debo too. Carvey, I guess.
Yes.
Young
yes.
man's name. But, you know, about this school stuff, when these people came to my door, I told them, look, I was with the CWA as a union member for over 30 years and a rep. I said, and what I'm seeing from the MTEA, I just don't trust it. And I told them, I said, all they're going to do with this money is take and create $100,000, $200,000 jobs for their friends. That money's not going to the students. And I told them, I'm voting no. So fast forward now, they got the money. And you remember the old saying? They took the money and run. That's all they're doing. They're taking the money and run. They don't care about our kids. They don't care about the school system. It's all about those games that you talk about they playing, putting their friends in positions. Oh, I can get you a position here, 100,000, 150,000. You just sit and count paper clips, So that's my thought on that. Thank you.
No, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And I think that had people known a lot about what was going on in the district, that referendum would have not gotten through. It wouldn't have. And, people, I think, are right to blame DPI, because even though they talk about, precedent and policy about who they inform when a district is not compliant, the board said that they were not made aware. I think that there's, some mistruth about that and how much the board did know. But bottom line is that there were a lot of people that were not doing what they were supposed to, and people financially being rewarded and or given positions that they shouldn't have never had. That's become clear. While I told people I didn't believe that Keith Posley should have been called a coon and all the stuff that he was called in the meetings, I think that there's some real questions about how things were ran under his leadership and with the board approval and lack of attention. It's a lot of problems with the MPS school board. And again, MTEA has been at the head of determining who was going to be on that board in terms of where they put their finances and resources and support for candidates. And so, as I pointed out before, you couldn't get what you wanted at the state level as that union. So you stack the school board with your people. And then you end up inadvertently getting what you want that way. But when what you are going for does not always align with what's best for this community and these families, then we got to say something. You don't have to be anti-union not to like everything that is done under union leadership. But this is so much bigger than the union. Even though on one hand, maybe not, because they control the school board. So if the school board is making crazy decisions and hiring superintendents making crazy decisions, but the union is responsible for the school board that we end up getting, well then, when you connect all the dots, the line come back to MTEA. All right. So other stuff that I got to get to. Somebody is hitting me up. Somebody said, same person. So let's not worry about officers. Let's be more concerned about parent participation. That's what the district needs. Not complaining if those kids act like that at tech. I'll give everyone fear pay because that's scary. But the referendum passed, so there's nothing you can do. Don't pass any more referendums. See how that works for you. We wasn't passing them. And it was still, we getting the same results either way. We've poured more money. That was one thing that Lena Taylor used to ask the question all the time, and even Representative Lakeisha Myers, which is one of the reasons why the union didn't support her. Because throwing more money at a situation is not always the answer. Sometimes you got to go and look at the system and see where it's broken and see what's going on and how you using the money we already given you. So just scaring people and saying, this is going to happen. Well, what's already been happening? because you already got a boatload of money. Where are those dollars being spent? But if this is an organization that can't even get their finance reports right and turned in a timely manner, why are we talking crazy to the parents and to the community? Somebody need to be talking crazy to the district. Somebody needs to be checking the district. Period. It ain't my job as a parent to know how the money is being spent at the district in terms of understanding all the different places that these dollars go. That's why supposedly I'm elected school board members. But then you realize you don't have as much influence on who is on the board that you think you do, even though you're going to vote. Because as candidates get pushed in and pushed out, money becomes available to others to send out more mailers, more door contacts, and then our electorate, oh, well, that's who showed up at the door, so that's who I voted for. But you don't really know nothing about the person except what folks have fed you. So I'm just saying, y'all, while we got a responsibility as a community, we got to look at the entire system to figure out why this is so broken. All right, let me move out for a minute into some of these other areas of concern. Number one, and somebody had sent me this one, and I had planned to kind of talk about it. I know that there were more details coming out, but there is a story right now that is troubling a lot of people. I heard about this on, I think it was on Sunday for the first time, because I hadn't been watching the news as much just because of other projects. And so I just became really familiar with this young brother, Javion McGee, with his situation down in North Carolina. Okay, so Javion McGee, young brother, African-American male, a truck driver. So he had some contact with the police on a traffic stop. Something went on. He had some contact. Javion McGee was found dead in a wooded area. Javion's only 21 years old. Found dead in a wooded area with a utility rope wrapped around his neck and his back up against a tree. Okay. So there was been a lot of speculation about how this young brother died. The family members of Javion, and Javion is from Chicago. Okay. The family members of Javion said that this does not add up. Why would he have committed suicide? You go into a wooded area and you got this rope wrapped around your neck. They said they could see blood on his neck from the rope. And they had answers. One of the cousins brought attention to the case on TikTok earlier this week. That's how a lot of more people started talking about it, accusing the law enforcement departments involved of being slow to investigate. His body is now with the medical examiner for an autopsy. And the sheriff in the area said they're going to share the results with the family before the report is made to the public. In the meantime, the family says, again, this brother, 21 years old, no history of mental health, no criminal background, was excited about his future, had recently obtained his commercial driver's license. So he hadn't even been driving trucks that long. So the family is like, something is off. And it was a noose around his neck. It was rope around his neck. So now there's been video that has come out from a Walmart in the area. And in the video, they say that you can see Javion purchasing the utility rope from the self-checkout lane at the Walmart in Henderson, North Carolina. You then see him walking out of the store with the rope in his hand. And at one point, he even tosses it in the air, according to the video. So the family was saying that based on the information, they still suspect foul play. There was nothing under his fingernails or his hands. That they just, none of this is adding up for them. Now, one of the things I would just say to people, just because somebody bought rope didn't mean I was using the rope to hang myself. When you encounter me, you see my rope, you use my own rope to harm me. But why do I need to go to a wooded area and tie myself to a tree to kill myself? I just got my CDLs. Like the story just doesn't make sense. So it's one of those that you got to keep your eye on. The family is right, I think, to keep up pressure and trying to figure out what happened to this young brother. But I'm going to tell you, my brother is a truck driver and he's down in Georgia. And we have always talked about his safety while he is out. He drives in really rural and remote areas. He runs into good old boys all the time. My brother has a certain swag and demeanor about him. He's always been a nice sized brother. And you know, my brother, he engages people, who knows how to talk to people. But my brother has even talked about understanding when he's in situations that's not safe for him. And having to have that third eye as he is driving into certain communities, or the vibe he gets from folks when he goes to the gas station or he stops at a rest area or something happens where he has to interface with the public. He realizes you're in the wrong part of town. And you need to pay attention to make sure you make it outside of this part of town. This is still happening in 2024. So for the young folks who are concerned about what went on with his brother, you know, the family is right to keep pressure up to figure out what happened. An independent autopsy, whatever they can do. But when I heard it, I shared the concern that something didn't sound right and that we need to pay attention to what may have happened to this young brother. So that's the story on young Javion McGee out of Chicago. And that's all we have for right now. But they're going to have to keep fighting to try to figure out what's going on. I mean, like, are you really happy and jovial? You're about to commit suicide and the rope you don't went to go supposedly buy to kill yourself. I'm throwing it up in the air like it's a good time. We about to kick it and go party. None of that sounds right. None of it sounds right. All right. So let me just take a second because I had mentioned it when I was doing a little litany, running through all the different things, what's going on in Springfield and that whole idea about rhetoric. You know, when Keith does his word of the day, I've actually had a professor who formerly at Marquette University who wrote a book about rhetoric, Dr. Cedric Burrows, and helping people understand the impact of you know, how we talk about issues and the way they can move people for the good or for bad. Right now, Ohio and the mayor of Springfield in particular are saying to political candidates, please don't come here. Donald Trump, please don't come here. Kamala Harris, please don't come here. The tension in our city is so off the charts right now that you will do more harm than any possible good by coming. The state police in Ohio, I mentioned this in the first half hour, conducting daily sweeps of schools because there have been 33 bomb threats in the past week, according to the governor's office. It has become the face of the debate about immigration and Republicans stoking fears about people coming to create, you know, harm and rape and murder and, you know, hide your white women because they're coming to get them. And the whole thing about eating pets. And, you know, now we're saying Haitians so everybody know these is black immigrants. But you got the governor and the mayor of Springfield again saying these people are here legally. The one thing that they haven't just fully said in the way I think they need to, because they've said these people are working in our local companies, helping these companies to be able to meet the demands of their customers. These are hardworking people. They are, committed to education. This is what they've said. This is what they have said. They value education. We don't have no drama here. We don't have no problems here on no scale to be talking about this is a threat to the folks of Springfield, Ohio. But, to be able to say, we ask these people to come. We want them here. Without them, there are portions of our economy that would not be working. And there are white folks and black folks who may live in Springfield who wouldn't have a job because the companies couldn't stay open because they can't meet demand. Somebody said, I think Ohio Attorney General should be preparing civil lawsuits against Vance and Trump's for damages, because they're talking about now Springfield is not a big city. So the amount of resources that they are now having to divert away from other governmental activities to be able to go in and bomb sweep 17 schools, to deal with the Proud Boys coming in and marching in their city. Like, everybody from the local, state, and federal police have said this is not an issue in Springfield. This is not happening. But you got these idiots who choose to make this city the poster child for the immigration discussion. And we're able to divert attention away from the fact that Donald Trump single-handedly tanked the latest effort, bipartisan, that gave Republicans almost everything they was asking for to deal with immigration at the border. And he single-handedly, for no other reason than political gain and to give himself one up on Joe Biden and a talking point for the upcoming election, told Republicans not to sign the bill, not to vote for, I should say not sign, but not to vote for the bill. That's what he did. And in the meantime, they said threats were even coming from outside of the country to the school. Kids not going to class. Colleges having problems and drama on the colleges in Springfield, Ohio, because of what J.D. Vance and Donald Trump have doubled down on in their foolishness. And then, of course, the Haitian people who have to worry about their safety, and people that's not Haitian, because all black folks look alike. So the crazies that might come in town who want to protect the good white people of Springfield from the black Haitians, and you see a black person in the street and you engage them and do something to this person, and these people are innocent and they're here legally. Rhetoric is important. What we say and the way we talk about people, it is important. That's why I said yesterday when the announcements came out about Trump and the whole assassination attempt, we got to talk responsibly about it, no matter how you personally feel, no matter what you really thinking. You can't say everything out loud. Everything you think does not need to be said. We got to be responsible. And so these people are catching hell in Springfield, Ohio. And it is all based on BS. That's my frustration. Like, just outright lying. It's all based on BS. So I had to say that as we talk about it. And people who think they saving somebody, they helping somebody, but you're not. You're making these people's lives miserable. And you're making them spend money that they shouldn't have to spend in this way. I got a caller. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Show him a double dip today.
Hey, George, go ahead.
I want people to realize how serious this is that's going on when you spread
I'm not saying that don't. I'm not saying that some of them don't come over here and do harm, but we doing more harm as Americans to each other. But they want to make like everything every time. Like how many they say coming over here? So let's say like 2,000 of them get over here. That's an exaggeration. Maybe it's probably more. But let's say one raped somebody and killed somebody. How many Americans are doing that? But it's want to say because you let these immigrants come in over here and doing that. That's Donald Trump is trying to be a dictator, spreading that kind of stuff. So people better open their eyes what's really going on around here. And J.D. Vance is still doubling down on that. I had a young man arguing with me yesterday because I tried to show him that he kind of said he kind of made it up a little bit, and I didn't even get hip to that till Chief and Depot put me up on it, and I saw myself. But they say he should know because he's from there, and why would he get on air and say it? So I'm trying to show him reports because I didn't have a live report. I only had like the Washington and all that kind of stuff. Oh, because it's not on the video, it's not true. And I'm like, he can lie just like anybody else, but people gonna believe what they gonna believe, Michelle. I don't know, but people better realize what this dude is up to them too. And what he said about like you're right, Michelle. When he said about Kamala Harris ain't been shot at yet,
right?
And Donald Trump is shot at twice.
Right.
To me, you just put it out there for somebody to do that.
Yeah,
that's the way I took it when I heard that. And like you said, why would a responsible person even say anything? It's you guys that's spreading all that rhetoric. Your guy that's doing that.
And
thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. We got some more callers. Let me go to the phone line, and I'm getting text messages. I mean, that's the frustration. And as we try to weed through what's true, what's not true, and there are some, and that's why I tell people, even though I appreciate that people, trust me, not to give misinformation, and I definitely know not to do it intentionally. I tell people all the time, you still got to check for yourself. You still got to go find information for yourself. And you got to be willing to look in other places, because if I go to the same source for my information all the time, and I understand what type of outlet that is, then my information frequently will be skewed in one direction. If I only watch Fox News, I'm only going to get that perspective. If I only watch MSNBC, I'm only going to get that progressive or liberal leaning perspective. So you got to be willing to go different places. Now, I tell people, I don't mess with Fox News like that on the national level, not local, on the national level, because these people are complicit in lying, and I just don't have time for it. But I do read conservative outlets that I think are more balanced in the way they present information. Still conservative leaning, but you understand it's not full of crazy town, in terms of the writers and the people reporting the information. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Shalom, Mr. Carr. How y'all doing?
Hey, bro, how you doing this morning?
Good. Remember before I mentioned that our legal scholars should be, and I say should only from the perspective that when we look at how Trump approaches these things, he always takes it to the court, right?
Right.
We see that Fox News was sued by the voting machine company.
Dominion, right.
For defamation.
Right.
And the things they did. And we need to start applying the same tactics. And a lot of people will say, well, I can't afford an attorney and this and that. You don't have to have an attorney if you're willing to do the work. Now, I'm not advising that, of course, but if it's your only option, then it's your only option. And I say that because, these things that these people are going through in Ohio, it would be great if a civil rights attorney would step up and file a lawsuit on behalf of these people, even if it's a class action lawsuit, on behalf of these people for the things that are being done by the Republican Party, even if they name Trump, right? Because there are things on the books that say you cannot do these kinds of things and affect the life, liberty, or pursuits of an individual, a citizen in this country, whether they be born here or, made a citizen through the process, right? So I'm saying because this is one of the tactics that they use, and we have to start using the same types of things when it makes sense, when it's available, right? Not going into it blindly. Of course, there's a lot of work involved. I'm not trying to tell somebody just to go out there and start because there's some downside to it, but strategically, right? Because that's the way it is used. It's strategic, and there's a reason why they told us, this thought is out here. Put it in a book, and they'll never find it, because all of these laws and the statutes that this country operates under are in them books, and they use them to their benefit. And this is one of the things that keeps us back. It's one of the things that has allowed us to get where we are too. This is why I continually mention, and y'all might remember this, putting Thurgood Marshall up there as that example. When they took him and put him into the public works, arena regarding, that nomination to the Supreme Court, they handcuffed him. Even though he could put his opinions on things, he wasn't able to come in with these different, challenges and change the laws anymore, right? And that's the thing that, we need to still have those advocates who have that skill set to come to the fore and say, let's do it this way too. This is one of the things that, what is it? The Fearless Fund, them sisters, and they're still working their way through the court, and a lot of people are, deterred because they say, well, I ain't got the money and it costs a lot of money. Well, that's the piece where some of these attorneys who have that ability, know how to work that system. So, you can help people be able to file these documents and file these complaints, get it into the system, and then they'll stop that nonsense. Because you don't see Trump out here mentioning this woman who he raped name any longer.
E. Jean Carroll.
Right? Yeah, you don't hear him mention. I mean, he might try to slide around it, but he left her like Will Smith say, to keep my wife name off your lips. Trump keep her name off his lips. Same with Fox. You don't hear him talking about Dominion no more, right? They done stopped all that because that $750 million made them recognize, hey, you can't just go out here irresponsibly and say whatever you think come up to your head without there being some consequences. And we got to make these folks know it's the equivalent or the other side of the coin of what you said about a boycott. There are many ways to hit these people in their pocket, and in them court systems where they got to spend money to defend this nonsense is one of them ways too. And I just want to throw that thought into the mix as well.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So a couple of things. I got to go to break, but somebody just sent me this. Oh, my God. Woo, Lord, I love life. I love life. I love life. I love irony, and I love a sense of humor. So according to the Daily Beast, the individual oh my God. The U.S. attorney handling the would-be Trump assassin case is a Haitian immigrant. Y'all know y'all be on it. Somebody just said that to me. It's in the Daily Beast. You gotta love life. Now, of course, we'll see if Donald Trump try to have him removed because he's Haitian. But the U.S. attorney handling the would-be Trump assassin case is a Haitian immigrant. At least that's what's being reported. I'm gonna go look for it. But y'all, it just don't get no fun. I'll be right back. Oh my God.
It's getting harder and harder to find great food at a reasonable price. Why settle for
ethnicity or not nationality. Well, yeah, let's just say ethnicity, because at this point, the nationality of this U.S. Attorney General, I'm sorry, U.S. Attorney is American, but ethnicity, the region of the world you hail from, your family ties. So yes, I did pull the story up days after Donald Trump spewed conspiracies targeting Haitian migrants on the presidential debate stage. A Haitian American immigrant has taken charge of the prosecution of an alleged assassin whose plot against the former president was foiled by Secret Service agents at his golf course in West Palm Beach. Florida, Mackenzie LaPont, the Justice Department's top prosecutor for South Florida, was born in Port-au-Prince and immigrated to the U.S. with his mother at the age of 16, the Miami Herald has reported. His family settled in the Miami neighborhood of Liberty City, and LaPont worked his way through school as a cab driver and server alongside his mother at an upscale restaurant in Key Biscayne. LaPointe was also a U.S. Marine reservist and was called up to serve during the Gulf War. Quote, he said, "It mattered to me as an immigrant who came here and could contribute to this country in a special way," he told the Herald. LaPont was nominated for the post by President Biden in 2022, confirmed by the Senate in December of that year with bipartisan support, including vocal support from Florida Senator Marco Rubio. LaPont has since led the case against the alleged assassins of Haitian President Jovenel Moise, which led to a grand jury indictment against 11 people and the arrest of 4 Florida residents allegedly involved in the scheme last year. So, just so you know, Brittany Mahomes is questioning her support for former President Donald Trump after he lashed out. Oh, wait, I don't want to include that in the story. That's irrelevant. Anyway, because Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany, that was intertwined with the story, shouldn't have been. But anyway, I don't have time for that piece of it. But hang on, what is this? Oh, okay, not a problem. You see the text message? Look at your text messages. So it's just funny how life works out. The irony of it all, that, bipartisan support. Senator Marco Rubio supports this brother who came to this country at 16 as a Haitian immigrant who has risen, to the top level of the law in relationship to the state of Florida in his role as a top prosecutor for the state. This is who's going to be handling Donald Trump's case. But, I want y'all to also understand that Haitian immigrants are murderers and thieves and, pet stealers and cat and dog eaters. I mean, do you see how he continuously does this? Why the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important? Because people get trained on not how to overgeneralize, not how to disparage a whole race, ethnic group based on your experiences or interactions with one, or just not to lie on people and say stupid stuff, that because in the real world this traditionally has cost people their jobs. When people would call me to come in as a consultant, it was to save people generally from losing their jobs because you were saying dumb, ignorant, stupid stuff at work. This man and his vice presidential pick can get nominated potentially to the highest position in the land for things that otherwise would get the director, the coordinator, the CEO of a local company or any company fired. You get to spew stupid and keep your job. Caller, here I come. Let me say this real quick. Somebody, while Craig was talking, sent me a text message and they said, where is it? Hold up. This is while Craig was talking. So it's their fault that everyone is saying Trump is existential to democracy. So we're blaming him for getting shot at. You've had Congress people saying they take him out. Let's be fair now. I know you guys don't like this man. To the person texting me. And we go back and forth the whole time. Who should we look at in relationship to the escalation in violence in this country around political allies, around political parties? Who should we look at?
Can I answer that?
I mean, this is the same guy, and of course you can, Debo, but this is the same guy who laughs when Nancy Pelosi's husband is attacked in their home by one of his supporters.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time we had a president to be assassinated or shot at, was that Ronald Reagan?
Yeah.
And if I'm correct, and this is the part that I might be a little iffy on, I believe that wasn't even politically motivated. That was because the dude was trying to, I think Hinckley was his name, was trying to impress Jodie Foster.
Right. He was, the man was clearly mentally ill.
Right. But I mean, so here we have a candidate, former president, who has put so much garbage and BS out into the atmosphere that is just retribution, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. And thank you, babe. So,
you know, I mean,
so
you have caused this. For every action, there's a reaction, and some just they react differently. I don't have any sympathy for him.
You know, my granddaddy and them used to say all the time, "You're gonna let your mouth write a check that your behind can't cash."
Like his son said, "My daddy's running out of lives."
Yeah, I mean, you have to be willing to make a correlation between your mouth and your behavior and what happens to you.
There you go.
You talk crazy, and that to my point about Butler skating rink. You talk crazy. Everybody is not gonna G for stupid.
That's right.
Everybody didn't come from the Martin Luther King and the Gandhi turn your other cheek. You know, and even Gandhi had to progress because in his turn your other cheek, at one point, he was a racist. So I'm just telling people that you can't sit up and say he bears no responsibility for what happened to him. He does. And then he turns around and blames Kamala Harris and Joe Biden for what happened to him. Therefore, knowing you got the merry band of deplorables that Hillary Clinton talked about and the crazies following you that in turn could go after these people and try to harm them. So to the person texting me, hell yeah, I'm blaming him for what happened to him. If I'm not clear, yes, I'm blaming him. Are there other things that play into that? Of course there are. But is he complicit? Yes, he is. Let me go to my callers. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. You know, you just hear you on the money. I believe that Donald Trump had everything to do with anything that happened to him. Now, another thing, why he talking about the border? Why aren't they bringing up the subject where he was locking people up in cages when he was in office? They don't bring that up. And Kamala needs to look that up and bring it up. Because he was taking them kids from their parents and locking them up. What kind of... I don't get it. Stupid is stupid, and he is very stupid.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So my favorite texter is back. So we're blaming the victim.
You got to use Keith's line right there.
There are no victims, just volunteers. You can't throw a Molotov cocktail and then be a victim when somebody shoots you. You can't start the fight and then be a victim when somebody doesn't fight fair. You can't make fun of and laugh at people that go and perpetuate violent acts against your political allies. Your political foes. He openly laughed and mocked and taunted what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband. And he's done this on many occasions. No, bruh, you don't get to have it both ways. You can't be a victim and act like he's standing on the sidelines, not dropping matches and inciting fires everywhere he goes, because that's what he does. Now, again, is he 100% to blame for what happened to him? No, he's not. because we know that there are unstable people or people who, do things and react in a way that they shouldn't. It's inappropriate. But I also know if I stand in a room and I yell fire and people end up being killed because they get trampled because energy goes through the roof and people are excitable and scared, that's why it's illegal to do that in this country. It's illegal for me to be in a movie theater and for no reason that's connected to any source of truth, stand up and yell fire in a crowded movie theater. I can go to jail for that because people understand the power and the impact of words. So don't make this man blameless in his own situation. He creates hate and division wherever he goes. It's just a matter of time before somebody hates him for real and somebody tries to hurt him for real. Not saying it's right, but the psychology, the laws that we have on our books, there are people that have understood this for years. Words have impact. And sometimes it's not always the impact we want. Let me take a break. Be right back. Oh, I'm done. Okay. Okay. So I wasn't looking at the time. I never forgot it's Tuesday. So let's see if we can get one of the callers in. Let's get one. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Carly. Listen, the only thing I have to say is this. Donald Trump planted the seed, and it's going to come up. I'm tired of us being so compassionate and understanding when something rolls into the person that threw the first stone. Number one, he's inconsiderate. Now, Secret Service can only be as effective as you allow them to be. You already know you're a target. Somebody tried to assassinate you once before. Now you're going to change the plan and put something on the calendar that they hadn't even anticipated. Not only are you jeopardizing your worthless life, excuse me, Lord, that's not right, jeopardizing your life, but you're jeopardizing the people that are supposed to be protecting you. And then check out what he wants. He wants as much security as President Biden and Kamala Harris. That is not right.
But he could pay for it. If he wanted it, he could pay for it. He got it.
There you go.
He got it. Just what I said before.
We were discussing yesterday.
Wait, hang on, caller, because
something additional. It's just like anything.
Wait. I gotta go because I'm up against the clock. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it. Yeah,
I'm on your side.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. Y'all already know where I feel about this, but tune in this afternoon. We'll know more about what's going on with Puffy and those charges. Talk more about everything that's unfolding around us, and a lot I didn't get to this morning. But let me say how much I appreciate my people in the studio. Devo, Carvey, appreciate you, fam. And I will talk to y'all today at 3:00. Peace.